What's up, YouTubers? It's Ernie, Blerd Without Fear. Welcome back to the channel. We are going to be picking back up with the Flash War. I kind of skipped the issue from last week, so probably doing like 2 issues at a time, just in case you're wondering, or however it works out. I don't make plans. But before we get started, if this is your first time checking out my channel and you want to see more awesome videos like this one, it only takes 2 clicks to become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers. Click, click. So, when last we left off, we discovered Wally West and Linda Park's children, Iris II and Jai, which, first off, I just want to go ahead and throw this out here real quick. In issue number 47 of The Flash, they clearly state that her name is Iris West II, but they've been calling her Ira, and I don't know if this is like some like nickname, that because once again, I didn't really read a whole lot of Flash back when the second iteration of the Tornado Twins was in full swing, so I don't know if this is some kind of nickname or something. Is this something that, yeah, I'm supposed to know and I don't? I have always known her as Iris West II. But either way, just so you know, I'm probably going to be saying Ira, or maybe I'll just keep saying Iris. I don't know. Maybe we'll just say Ira, just so we don't confuse anyone. But when we pick up with this doesn't exactly go the way you might think. Wally West is still freaked out that he has lost his children. He's getting the memories back of these children that he had and is now trying to figure out how he can make this right. And all the while, Hunter Zolomon is pushing and goading Wally into doing what he wants him to do, to go into the Speed Force and destroy it. And once he pushes Wally too far, Wally decks him, but at that moment, we thought that he had all of his memories back, but apparently we were wrong. There's still more left in the Speed Force, and he's slowly getting them back, and punching Hunter Zolomon brought back every memory that he shared with the Reverse Flash. Even remembering that Zolomon is the reason that he lost his children in the first place. The children that he and Linda were gonna have, that miscarried thanks to his attack on Linda, leading to Wally giving Hunter Zolomon a good old-fashioned Alabama ass whipping. But this is when he realizes that Hunter isn't fighting back, because Hunter doesn't have his powers. Those powers are still gone. He is not the Reverse Flash, even though he is wearing the Reverse Flash's garb. And his declaration that he wants to be a hero, that he wants to help Wally save the world, it confuses Wally, but you can tell that wheels are turning in there, even though Wally is still giving him that skeptical ass look. This is when Hunter Zolomon reveals the full truth about what happened when Barry Allen created Flashpoint. That even though he went back into the time stream and saved his mother, creating this alternate reality, Barry did actually manage to fix the mistake. The problem was, and this also kind of calls back to the Flash TV show where Jay Garrick explained to Barry Allen that if you break a coffee cup and you glue it back together, yeah, the cup is fixed, but there's still cracks in the cup. There's still damage that is visible in the cup, and that's exactly what happened with the timeline when he fixed it. He got things back to normal, but there are things that are still missing. Things like Ira and Jai. Those are the cracks. And Zoom knows how to find them, and he knows that even more people are trapped in the Speed Force. Most likely, people like Jay Garrick, Max Mercury, Jesse Quick. These are characters we haven't seen since DC Rebirth, much less New 52 for that matter. And Wally is actually thinking right at first. He doesn't want to go into the Speed Force and destroy it because he can imagine what would happen to the world as a whole if something that powerful was actually destroyed. But of course, Hunter Zolomon is going to prey on Wally's consciousness regarding his children. And when Barry shows up with Cold in tow to try and take down Hunter Zolomon, this is when Wally turns on Barry, revealing that Hunter Zolomon may be a killer and may be an evil person, but he knows about the things that Barry took from him. He knows about his children, the life that he had with Linda, the thing that he's been worried about this whole time. And when Wally brings this up, this is when everyone's memory is jogged, and Barry, even Wallace and Iris start to remember that they were supposed to be there. And the question comes up, who else is missing? And Wally wants Barry's help, but he knows Barry is too stubborn to want to do it. And Wally knows what he must do. He begins to run, jumping into the time stream, causing Barry to have to follow after him. And Hunter Zolomon, refusing to be captured, uses the temporal court's gavel and creates a getaway. And this is when Cold, Iris, and Wallace realize something is happening. A temporal event has started. Something has been changed and time is being erased all around them. Much like when the Flashpoint timeline was destroyed. And the last thing we see of Cold, Iris, and Wallace is them being disintegrated along with the rest of that timeline. And we're brought back to that scene from the beginning of Flash War, with Wally running as fast as he can through the time stream, remembering his life with Linda, remembering his children, until Barry crashes into him, knocking him off course. And no matter how much sense Barry tries to talk into Wally, he's not going to change his mind. The memories of his children are driving him insane, and he wants to save them. And it's as simple as that. It's one of those things that I think can very easily paint Wally West as a bad guy in all this, but really you gotta think about it. He is desperate to save the children that he lost to the Speed Force. You gotta remember, he was trapped in the Speed Force for 10 plus years, and it was torture for him. He was nearly lost in time forever. And if that was torture for him, imagine what it would be for his two children. Wally doesn't care about the consequences, he just wants to get the job done. And Barry tries to tell him that if you do this, I will stop you. But Wally reminds him of what happened the first time they actually raced each other. Barry lost. And as they race off, the world is literally crumbling around them. They are creating a crisis-level event, just the two of them racing like madmen, one trying to destroy the Speed Force and the other trying to save it. Even to the point that Amanda Waller and Steve Trevor have to come in and try and make a last-ditch effort to save the world, trying to stop these two speedsters. Even the Justice League gets called in because you gotta think about it. Everything is reacting to the Speed Force being tested in this way. Hawkman is feeling Gale Force winds stronger than he's ever felt before. Swamp Thing can hear the Green crying out in pain, while Zatanna can feel the magic in the world doing the same thing. Atom is witnessing the microverse tearing itself apart, and the New Gods are bearing witness to the destruction of the Speed Force, even as far back as New Genesis. Cyborg is even aware that whatever it is they're doing, this race is literally destroying the fabric of the multiverse. And this is when Superman realizes that only he has the power to try to stop them, and when Superman races after both Barry Allen and Wally West, he gets a rude awakening. You see, you gotta remember, Superman has raced both Barry Allen and Wally West at separate times, and depending on who was writing the story at the time, sometimes Superman won, sometimes Flash won, sometimes it was circumstantial, sometimes it was just flat out and out that the Flash was faster. And this kind of sets it definitively. Superman is not fast enough to catch either Barry or Wally West. Even Green Lantern, who has spent enough time around Flash to learn all the Flash facts you could possibly learn, he comes up with a construct that would vibrate at a frequency that would cause both Flashes to slow down, but even that isn't enough, and it nearly kills Hal Jordan had Barry not saved him as they race through Dinosaur Island. And Wally kind of turns into this character, like it's almost like, man, Wally is becoming a cold-hearted son of a bitch, because even though he realized that Hal Jordan is his friend, he does not care that he almost killed him, because in his mind, thinking with the cold calculus of logic, he knew Barry would stop what he was doing to save him. And this is when Wally reveals this is why he's so pissed off. He's not just mad because of the lost children, he's mad because of everything that happened leading up to this. It's not just about the children. It's about the fact that Barry Allen changed time. He went back in time to save his mother, but he didn't tell anybody. He didn't tell Wally, the person that he first entrusted his secret identity to. He never once asked for help. He never once trusted Wally with anything. And knowing that Barry Allen would do what he would do to save Hal Jordan, it pisses him off even more that he would do this for Hal but not help Wally save his family. And Flash relents and says he will help Wally. He will do what he has to do to help save Wally's family. Not just his family, but their family. And then that settles it. They race into the Speed Force together, siphoning off each other's Speed Force to make themselves faster. And even though there is a chance that they could be lost in the Speed Force forever, Wally knows that that won't happen this time, because each time they've raced into the Speed Force and were trapped in it, they were alone. But this time, they're together, and with both of them being the other's lightning rod, there's no way it could happen again. But Wally is too fast. This is something that I think readers sometimes forget about Wally West, is that he is faster than Barry Allen in all phases of the game. He is literally the master of the Speed Force, to the point Barry can't even keep up with him. The pain of the Speed Force ripping them apart is too much for Barry Allen, but Wally West gives no fucks, and he stays the course until suddenly an explosion goes off, and when Wally and Barry recover, the Justice League swarms them, trying to figure out what it was they did, because they didn't necessarily destroy the Speed Force, they broke it. And for all the trouble, Wally still didn't get his children back. So remember in Dark Knight's Metal, the finale, the Justice League broke the Source Wall. Well, you see, Barry and Wally did something very similar. They broke the Force Barrier, the barrier that kept all the other forces other than Speed at bay. And now that they've done that, Zoom has returned. And Zoom reveals that Wally has always wanted to be just like Barry Allen, and now he's done exactly something that Barry Allen would be selfish enough to do. Zoom reveals that he had to pit them against each other to get them to do what inevitably he knew they would do: work together to crack the Speed Force. And this is where we get the impression that maybe, just maybe, Wally's children aren't trapped in the Speed Force. You see, Zoom used family against the Flash because that was the one thing throughout the entire history of the Flash that would galvanize a speedster in the Flash family to take the ultimate risk. Because with the Source Wall broken, Zoom has seen the things that are coming our way. He has seen the trouble that is coming to the Earth, and he knows the type of hero that they need to save it from what was being held captive beyond the Source Wall. And Zoom reveals Barry's original Flash ring, something that Eobard Thawne kept because he knew one day Barry would be worthy of having it back. That the real power of the Flash legacy isn't the speedsters who are a part of that family, but that power inspires other people to do the right thing. And that if you need a hero, you should just become one yourself. And this is what Hunter Zolomon proclaims, that he is the fastest man alive. Barry and Wally know so much about the Speed Force, it's but one of the forces in the multiverse, and now all those forces are free. He reveals the Sage Force, the Strength Force, and now he is taking control of them, and he plans to use all of these newfound forces to return the life that was taken from him. So Flash War is actually amping up. It's actually kind of turning into this like crisis level event, but like on a smaller, more personal scale. I'm really curious to see if we actually do get some kind of closure on what is going on with Wally West's children, Irie and Jai, or if we get Jay Garrick back. I've heard that Jay Garrick is going to be making a comeback in this series, so I hope that that's something we get to see. And like I said, it would be nice to see, characters like Max Mercury, Impulse, Jesse Quick. It would be nice to see those characters kind of like sneak back in under the radar. But anyways, let me know what you think about Flash War. Sound off in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, Superman punch that like button. And if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you click subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers and tap that bell so you know when I post up. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and hopefully I'll see you all next time. Plus Ultra!